there, my name is Karen Sani. This is a preview of my poster for the HRM Research and Design module. Now, due to coronavirus, we've not been able to actually present our posters in paper, but this is my poster, so this is the first page. I'll explain it to you a bit more in a minute, but just to show you that it is 2 pages long, so that's my first page and my second page. Quite wide, and I would just be able to put the two together to create the poster. So it's just to show you that's what I've got. I'll go into it in detail in a wee minute. Now, for my proposal, I have chosen evaluating the effectiveness of work-life balance. Now, the reason why I've chosen this is I am a single mum, and I work for a company called BT, which is the company that I've chosen to investigate and put my ideas forward to them for this. So work-life balance is something that I really am interested in, just due to the fact that I'm a single mum, and I find if you work too much, it can really affect, i.e. your mental health and your family life. So it's something I'm really interested in. After looking at all the details of the research, I'm even more interested in it. So I'm just going to go through the contents of what's in my poster and how that will reflect on my final assessment, okay? So the research content that I'm doing is work-life balance. Now, work-life balance is a perception that describes an example of splitting a person's time and energy between their work and their everyday life. Achieving work-life balance is an ongoing challenge for all organisations. It's tough for an individual to make time for family, friends, personal growth, community self-care and personal activities, in the addition of the demands of an individual's workplace. This can work out to be really stressful for an individual. It then impacts on things like an employee's performance, their health and well-being. They end up being off work, and it just decreases productivity for the organisation as a whole. So my content and what I want to do is basically get into this a bit further, explain why I want to do it and what I'm going to look into. So my 4 points of research will be, first of all, increased productivity. Second of all, employee retention. Third of all, employee health and well-being. And last of all, I'm going to lower absenteeism. Now, the research methodology for this is general research strategy that outlines the way in which the research is to be undertaken. It also is what we use to identify the methods that will need to be used in theological work. The development of paradigms satisfies most or all of the criteria for the methodology. Now, the methodology is the methods of what you did and how you did it. It allows the reader to evaluate the reliability and how valid it is, the research that you're actually doing. So when you're doing your research methodology, you really need to look at stages, okay? So step 1 would be to explain your methodology approach. So what this would be is explain what you're wanting to achieve. So for me, it's work-life balance at BT and how introducing that to the company would be a benefit to them. 2, describe your methods of data collection, and 3, describe your methods of analysis. Now, you can go into more detail on this. So we do ontology, which is objectivism and subjectivism. This is about people's experiences and attitudes towards the topic, which for me is really important because I want to get people's experiences and people's thoughts on how this affects and how this could make them feel better at work and overall how they'll perform for BT as a whole. You can use epistemology. This is a positivism, interpretarism and paragism, where you decide to do the quantitative research yourself, which really, yes, I know a wee bit about it and it's my own opinion, but because it's just my own opinion, I really need to broaden my horizon and get other people's opinions and get my numbers and my figures in for the data. Okay, so the research approach is your nature and your strategy of your review. Deduction versus induction approaches. Descriptive and explanatory. Explanatory is what I'll be doing, because I need to explain why I'm doing it. I need to explain the benefits of it. I need to explain why I want to actually approach this and make it work. Okay, quantitative and qualitative is a research approach. They can be multi-methods, they can be mono, and they can be mixed. This is the nature of how your field work is done. Now, because I want to interview BT employees, I'll focus more on a qualitative approach, just because it's more about research and doing interviews and stuff like that to get the information that I need. I mean, I'll obviously be using a lot of online sources and books and stuff like that to study it totally, but because I am doing that, I'll be doing a quantitative research design. Okay, so moving forward then, the research rationale. The rationale behind this work that I'm doing, which is work-life balance, is a choice. I explained that to you at the start of the video, just because I'm a single mum. I just feel it's important that we do balance your life out evenly between work and family commitments and stuff like that. There's so much to it. I mean, that's just my own individual experience. There's people out there who have maybe sick relatives they need to look after, and they try to juggle that, their family, their home. It's so important that we put an emphasis on this and realise that, you know, life's not all about working. You need that work-life balance to make sure that you and your mental health are good. The rationale for the study is to show my current place of work at BT, proof that introducing work-life balance is a benefit to any organisation and their employees, especially BT, and overall the benefits from the company as a whole. Okay, so that's the rationale in it, and why I'm going to get into that a little bit more during the study and outcome with the assessment. Now, the types of so what I'm going to talk about now is research design. So the types of research design we have are qualitative research design. This is the one that I'll concentrate on mostly, because I'll need to do experimental research, I need to collect research, and I'll be doing a lot of surveys and stuff to get my information gathered together, to get the approach that I need. Now, during the details of this, we will be doing sampling. This is an area that should not be neglected in my report and requires a strong discussion. Probability sampling will narrow it down to the people that you want to talk to. Now, obviously, people I want to talk to are people that work in BT, because that's my focus on my assessment, that I want to speak to the people in BT because that's who I'm trying to improve. Now, you increase the sample to draw meaningful conclusions. So, the sample that obviously I put out will be my research design, will be my questionnaires, my surveys and all that. I need to make sure that I'm justifying them, so justification to why I've chosen the samples I've chosen, the people that I need to do the research project, and make sure the sample is meaningful and representative. The research design, as I said, I am concentrating on this one here, the quantitative approach. Now, what we need to do is carry out surveys. Surveys need to be relevant to the study. They should be short and snappy and not boring, so that they don't lose interest in the actual survey. I need to ask open questions so I don't just get one-word answers, I get detailed answers on some of my questions. Know what you're wanting to achieve when you're doing your surveys, and know who you want to reach out to. And you can discuss how to collect analysis and present survey data. You then take the step of doing the interviews, which is basically where I would go into BT and speak to people who work there currently, and some people that I know who have actually left. I need to work out how I'm going to approach them, how I'm going to interview them, whether it's going to be formal and informal, know who and how many people that I want to speak to, and ensure that I ask open questions and my questions are clear, and I'm able to answer any questions that they would have regarding this. Now, data analysis, you use the data that is gathered to provide, use the data that is gathered to prove your point of your study. Quantitative research may generate and collecting masses of data, but this is what the data analysis is. You need to gather all the data together so you've got all the information that you need and you can present it. You need to address the problem and explain what can be done to help the problem, find out results and proof to show the figures and to show the evidence that you know, this is the problem, this is what can be fixed, and this is what can happen if you do actually present the information properly. With all the evidence you have to break the information down and come up with a conclusion, taking into consideration the ethics and limitations obviously as well, that's really important, that you're being ethical and you're following the correct procedures for that. Finally, your presentation of your research findings. In the section of the paper is where you report and present the findings of the study. Based upon the information that I've received from BT employees, from figures and facts, and all the information I've got through books, journals, online stuff and that as well, gather it all together. As a result, the methodology that was applied, use that properly, and the results section of the study should just simply state the findings without being biased, and be arranged in a logical sequence explaining how the findings are important and relevant based on the aim and scope of your study. The aims and objectives, basically the aims and objectives of this, I've just explained that to you, is really to let BT know if they introduce the benefits of work-life balance, how it would make their employees feel so much better, so much more comfortable, so much happier at work. So basically a happy employee means that they will perform better, and their overall whole, how much money they make basically would increase because people are doing their job to their best of their ability. Reduce sicknesses, people going off with stress and depression and stuff like that. So yes, that all applies to this and is all important while undergoing this subject. Now, the references are here in a list. This is just the references that I've used and picked up throughout my collecting of my research. Thanks for listening. My name is Karen, and hopefully I can help use these stages and help towards my assessment. Thank you.